Hello, everyone. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. Please prepare for our national anthem and our colors.
Freeze it. Colors.
Thanks, Mr. Lyons and Cross Keys JROTC for presenting the colors. We appreciate you both and for your continued support of Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month Walk and Roll. Thank you all for joining us today and supporting both Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month 2024. To all of our community partners, I want to thank both our internal and external partners for supporting this event and helping to increase awareness of services and support available through the VA and our community. We have a great day planned today, and we couldn't do this without everyone's support today. Few housekeeping items before we get started with our agenda. Please make sure everyone has stopped by the registration table to sign in, to pick up your agenda, to, of course, pick up our table assignments. We have a lot of great community partners here today, as well as our survey, because we're committed to providing you with the best experience possible, and we need your feedback to help us to continue to improve this event year after year. And last but not least, please make sure you all get a t-shirt. We encourage you to wear your t-shirts throughout the event to show your solidarity for both suicide prevention and recovery. Again, thank you for being here today. I want to give a great warm welcome to our Chief of Staff, Dr. Norvell, to do some brief opening remarks. Please welcome Dr. Norvell.
All right, our third annual Walk and Roll. Well, everyone remember that September is Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month, and tragically, our nation's veterans are at higher risk of suicide compared to the general population, and everyone plays a role in suicide prevention. By partnering with veteran-centric and community-based organizations, we are able to collectively reach more veterans with resources for suicide prevention and recovery. Your representation at this event shows your commitment to recovery and suicide prevention initiatives. To the veterans, our nation's heroes, we say, you are not alone. And it is okay to ask for help. Reaching out isn't always easy, but you were trained to do harder things. To those of you on the road to recovery, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no one is alone in recovery. The recovery journey isn't just for the person with a substance use or mental health issue. It includes everyone who cares about them. To everyone, we say, you can be a part of the solution by checking in with the veterans in your lives who may be going through a rough time and encouraging them to reach out if they need help. Spread the word. Don't wait. Reach out. And that recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, and every community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Norvell, for your leadership and your continued support of our Suicide Prevention and Recovery Month Walk and Roll. We have a very special guest as well today. Please give us a warm welcome. We have Dr. Campbell, who's from our, she's one of our executive director of our VHA Office of Mental Health and Suicide Prevention. We welcome you, Dr. Campbell, and we're grateful to have you to share some information and some remarks for us today. Please welcome Dr. Campbell.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction, and it's really an honor to be here today bringing you greetings from the Office of Mental Health Suicide Prevention from Washington, D.C. There's a lot of activity that happens. We are world leaders in this space, and it's because of the work that you all do individually that is putting us at the top in this effort. I want to say thank you to Mr. Mincer. I know he wanted to be here today, but we have the outstanding Deputy Lavetta Ford with us here today, our Chief of Staff, Robert Norvell, and I know we have other senator, congressional dignitaries. Thank you so much for coming and partnering with us. What's fabulous about our congressional leaders is that they're bipartisan on this issue. Everyone loves our veterans, and they are doing all that they can to help us in this fight. To the suicide prevention team, the leadership under Ms. Shelley Lamb, thank you so much, because when we put on these events, the day-to-day work doesn't change. Like, that's still happening. And to, of course, our fabulous MC, Miss Kajana Pitts. I know I mispronounced your name. Kawana Pitts, our local recovery coordinator. They are both tireless in getting this work out, and I understand that they never turn down a request, whether it's to handle a tough case, to get a consult, or to help us put on these events. So again, thank you so much. Congratulations on your 3rd annual Walk and Roll. Today is bringing that reminder of hope, right? To each of us in this room, in our neighborhoods, our workplaces, in our healthcare facilities, our family get-togethers, and the most important story you're gonna hear today is from our veterans. How many Army veterans do we have in the house? All right. How about Marine Corps veterans? All right. How about Navy veterans? All right. What about aerospace? That's the newest one, I believe. What about Air Force? All right. Who did I leave anyone out? Did I get everyone here? Thank you. Coast Guard.
And
Space Force. Thank you so much for coming. I want to just relay a little brief story in my own life. I grew up in Cleveland, near the Wade Park, Louis Stokes VA, and my uncle, my mother's only brother, was a World War II Korean War Purple Heart, and came home with a TBI, PTSD, and other challenges that we knew nothing about when he came home. My mother just stated that her brother was very different coming back. And so later in his life, we discovered the VA and was able to get him assistance. But to have had resources like this and to know about it, I know would have made a difference in the life of my uncle and my own family life. And at that time, let me tell you that VA is not our grandfather's and uncle's VA, because we would take my uncle to the VA and you would walk down this dark hallway. You just had a room number. There was no doctor's name on the door, no clinic. And so VA has come a long way. We have a trust score of 90+%, the fastest growing population are our female veterans. We have an entire mental health consultation